Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy. Now, at age 25, I would have sworn to you that my income was determined by the economy. My mentor said, "Mr. Rohn, you've been working 6 years. How are you doing?" I said, "Not very well." He said, "I suggest you not do that anymore." "Surely you wouldn't want to do it another 6 years." I said, "No, sir." He said, "How come you're not doing well?" I said, "Well, this is all they pay," and I showed him my paycheck. He said, "No, that's not true. This is all they pay you." I thought, well, that's a different way to look at it. He said, "Aren't some in the company making 5 times this amount?" I said, "Well, yes." He said, "Well, then this isn't all they pay. But this is all you get because this is all you qualify for." I then started understanding that, first of all, my paycheck was going to be determined. When it comes to lasting a long time, to standing tall and being strong, but knowing when to bend, the trees have a lot to teach us.
It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Who it is that you're trying to be, right? And you aim at that. And then you use everything you learn as a means of building that person that you want to be.
You have to make mistakes to find out who you aren't. You take the action, and the insight follows. You don't think your way into becoming yourself. Life is a journey of self-discovery, and along this path, mistakes play a vital role in shaping our identity. It is through these missteps and blunders that we come to understand who we truly are and who we are not. Mistakes provide us with invaluable feedback and insights that are impossible to gain through mere contemplation. When we stumble and falter, we are granted the opportunity to confront our limitations, challenge our preconceived notions, and reevaluate our beliefs. It is in these moments of vulnerability that our true character is revealed, and we discover facets of ourselves we may not have been aware of before. The fear of making mistakes holds us back from taking risks and embarking on new adventures. We may be conditioned to believe that failure is something to be avoided at all costs, viewing it as a sign of weakness or inadequacy. By focusing on ourselves, we can set healthy boundaries, make choices that align with our values, and invest time and energy in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. It is through self-focus that we can nurture our individuality, develop a strong sense of self, and ultimately lead a more authentic and purposeful life. In a world that often encourages comparison and competition, it is imperative to emphasize the importance of focusing on yourself rather than others. When we constantly compare ourselves to others, we diminish our own self-worth and limit our potential for growth. The truth is, everyone has a unique journey and set of circumstances, and attempting to measure our success or happiness against someone else's is an exercise in futility.
It's okay. You are going to make a lot of mistakes in life, young man. You're going to fail your way to success. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Keep your head up and take that furniture back in the house. I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I learned something from that. If you ever make a mistake, hold your head up. If you ever go through something, hold your head up. If you ever do something and everything goes wrong, life catch you on the blind side, hold your head up. It's not over. Goethe said, "That which does not kill you will make you stronger." Hold your head up.
That's really annoying, when something bad happens to you and then, you grind yourself into bits trying to figure out what the hell happened, and then you realize that, you were playing a causal role. Now, sometimes you're so depressed you assume you're playing a causal role, and you weren't. It's not easy to figure out by any stretch of the imagination. And it isn't that everyone who does something terrible is at fault for it. But sometimes you find that you were off the path somehow, and maybe even that you knew it and didn't attend to it. And that's why all of this hit the fan.
I've fallen out of the sky so many times. But it's not the happenings, it's what you do about it. I used to blame the weather, and I discovered it rains on the river. So here's one of the key questions of the evening. Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do that'll make a change in your life's direction? Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same. Unless you, major key, tomorrow, change it all. Or change something. It's choice time. You can do whatever you want. But it's nice to know any day you wish you can change your whole life. And I challenge you to do that because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice.
Never let anyone destroy you. Never let anything stop you from doing you or being who you want to be. Each individual carries their own biases, experiences, and beliefs that shape their viewpoints, but it is essential to remember that their opinions do not define our true value or worthiness. Allowing someone else's opinion to destroy us gives them an undeserved power over our happiness and self-esteem. Success is not merely a destination to be reached. It is a reflection of the person we become on our journey. Attracting success begins with cultivating a growth mindset, a belief that our abilities and talents can be developed through hard work and perseverance. When we cling to something that is causing us distress, we give it power over our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It becomes like a biting creature that continuously gnaws at our peace and well-being. We may become trapped in a cycle of rumination, replaying painful memories or dwelling on negative situations.
But I'll never forget when I met Mr. Washington. I was in a class waiting on another student, and he came in and he said, "Young man, go to the board and work this problem out for us." I said, "Oh, sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why?" I said, "I'm not one of your students." He said, "Look at me." I said, "Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow." I said, "Sir, I can't do what you're asking me to do." He said, "Why?" "Sir, because I'm educable mentally retarded, sir." And as the students erupted in laughter, he came from behind his desk, he looked at me and he said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated.
And start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy. Work on your attitude. Work on your personality. Work on your language. Work on the gift of communication. Work on all of your abilities. And if you'll start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Success is not something you pursue, chase, run after. Success is something you develop, something you become, you attract. So the whole key to unlock all the treasures, whether it's economic treasures or spiritual treasures, financial, social, personal, every way you can possibly think of, is by your own personal development.
Well, very frequently when people are suffering terribly, not always, because sometimes you just suffer stupidly, blindly, and without recourse, You get cancer and then you die. So we have no idea how to deal with that. But sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. And you think, well, I can't let go of it. And I've had clients like this. I can't stop communicating with my mother, who phones me 3 times a day, every day of my life, and never says anything that isn't unbelievably critical and demeaning. I can't let that go. It's like, well, that's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it.
The power to shape our lives and determine our destiny rests firmly in our own hands. It is up to us to make choices, take action, and create the life we desire. While others may offer guidance, support, or even influence, ultimately, the decisions we make are ours alone. No one can make those choices for us, as they are deeply personal and reflective of our individual desires, values, and aspirations. Taking responsibility for our actions and choices instead of deflecting or blaming others is a hallmark of personal growth and maturity. When we avoid taking responsibility and shift the blame onto others, we relinquish our power to affect change and improve our circumstances. By embracing responsibility, we reclaim our agency and recognize that we have the capacity to shape our own lives.
You're going to die! Excuse me? You're going to die! In case you didn't understand that, you can't get out of life alive. So I'm thinking you got 6 months to live. Live your life now. Live your dreams now. Start acting like this is your last day on the planet. See, if we decide that we don't need a pronouncement from some physician to say we have 6 months to a year to live in order to really begin to appreciate the beauty of life, in order to really to make some hard decisions in life. See, we have the power in our hands. Like those little boys, we have that kind of power, that kind of genius, that kind of fortune, that kind of wealth, that kind of happiness, that kind of sense of fulfillment in our hands. We have that. We have that. It's in our hands. It's on us. And nobody can make that decision for us.
Now, sometimes it's a little tough to take, blaming yourself instead of the marketplace. Taking responsibility instead of putting it off on someone else. That transition sometimes is a challenging mission. And this one was a little tough for me. He said, Mr. Rohn, you've got pennies in your pocket, you've got nothing in the bank, the creditors are calling, you're behind on your promises. And he says, here's how that occurs. You've attracted, up until now, you've attracted the things to you because of the person you've become. Now I said, well, how can I change all that? He said, very simple. If you will change, everything will change for you.
You have this idea that people's shadows reach all the way down to hell, which is actually a very frightening concept. And what he meant by that is that if you take a look at the impulses that drive you that are actually malevolent, if you can admit to such impulses, that if you follow those all the way down to their origin, you find some very nasty things. And what you find down there basically is what allies you with people who've done terrible things. That's not a very pleasant experience, I would say, although one thing that's worth thinking about is that it is something that can protect you against being very, very badly hurt. And so it's actually protective to you if you can figure out what your full range of capabilities.
Behavior and character go hand in hand. Stillness and inner peace holds the key. Let no one steal your joy. You can't change how other people act. You can only change how you respond. Recognizing that we cannot change how other people act, but have control over our own responses, is a liberating realization. His shift in perspective allows us to cultivate a sense of peace and inner harmony, freeing us from the futile pursuit of trying to change others, and enabling us to focus on our own growth and well-being. That's all from our side. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for getting more videos like this. Thank you for watching.
ready to ride.